All right, so somebody said in my comments that I always mention about family with no context. So let me just give you the backstory real quick. Me and certain kinfolk was real close at one point. Like all of our lives, we was real close. Like we grew up together. We was like not brothers, but like sisters and shit, right? So we grew up together, whatever. And maybe like a year ago, we both was talking about me moving down here, and this certain kinfolk was like, all right, let's do it. Like, you come down here, you know what I mean, you live with me and the family or whatever, like her family. And you know when I get my place is when I get my place. Like, we never had a date, we never discussed a date. She said to me before I moved here that if I had to move to the new house with them, then I could. All right, boom. All right, I decided to move down here. So to DC, that is. I moved down here and I already had a job locked in. I locked in a job already, right? At some auto detailing place, but I knew that I wasn't going to stay at this job because I wanted to change my career eventually from auto detailing. I was already doing that in Philadelphia, and I was like, if I come up here, this is going to be my last job in that field. All right, boom. So I'm working that job or whatever. I'm working that job, and the job is like not great at all. I'm getting paid, but it's really like just a horrible job. So to make a long story short, I wound up getting fired from the job. I was at the job maybe like 2 months. I got fired. Boom. So now I'm like, fuck, right? Now keep in mind that I asked my kinfolk when I first got there, what bill would you like me to pay? Just like me to pay utility bill, just tell me how I can contribute, right? And she's like, nah, you don't have to pay nothing. Like, I just want you to like be here. We're gonna have fun. Like, you just put your money up for your place or whatever. All right, cool. I'm not thinking about my credit. I'm just thinking I'm gonna save my money. I'm starting over in a new place and I'm gonna be good. So that's how that went. I come into work one day, the boy like, let me talk to you for a minute. Not the owner, but the supervisor, because it was like a private owned company. And he like, we gotta let you go. So I'm like, okay, what's the explanation? He couldn't give me one, right? So he like, Mr. Da da da, he just said that, it's not working out here, so we gotta let you go. So I'm like, fuck, like, my money is cut off, but I don't want to think about it in a negative way because I can manifest whatever I want. So I was still thinking, being positive. So I called my kinfolk right away. I'm like, yo, they just fired me. They just let me go. So she like, oh my God, like what happened? Da da da. So we talking, and she like, don't worry about it. Just come home. So I went home. I went back to the crib, and we was talking, but she was working. So immediately I'm looking for jobs like right away. Man, I could not find a job for the life of me. So within me not finding a job, it being like 15, 20 degrees outside, and I'm sick. My kinfolk got me sick. Now I had fucking bronchitis. They got me sick and shit. Like, it was just a lot going on. Like, I got sick. I lost my job. Then I was looking for a job. I couldn't find a job. Um, I'm telling her my moves, but eventually it was like she ain't really like care about that. So I was like, I shouldn't have to report back to her like every single day, about me getting rejected anyway. Let me just let her know when some good news come up. So through that time, right? So during that time, right, she really thought that she assumed I wasn't looking for a job because I was in the house. So, it finally started coming out with her. Like, I would notice how she wasn't making conversation with me, or I would ask her certain questions and she really wouldn't respond. It was the energy was different. You know, if you're spiritual, you're big on energy and you're also sensitive with energy, you could tell when something switches. So I automatically knew when something switched, but I'm like, you know, like I hope she's not feeling no type of way because I'm doing every single thing I can to find employment. You know, I'm not just sitting up here laying on her couch. Like, there was never the plan of me coming here. Like, and then on top of that, I never asked to be here. I didn't say, hey, kinfolk, can I come down here? I asked my kinfolk about the housing programs down here. And in return, my kinfolk told me about the housing programs, which they really don't know about because my kinfolk come from a wealthy family and she's mad privileged. So she don't really have to, she don't know about like the struggle. You feel me? Like she's different. So anyway, anyway, so she's got all these feelings she's harboring inside of her and making all these assumptions in her head. And then eventually, you know, she would start talking about me like to her mom. She would start talking about me to her friends, and I would kind of overhear her in the room, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I ain't say nothing. So it was that. Then, um, then what happened? What happened after that? All right, boom. I get a job. I get a job. I think I got a job in like March. It was um as a concierge, right? So I'm sorry, I keep getting stung by mosquitoes and shit. I get a job as a concierge, and she's like, "Oh my God," she's all happy now, you know. So she's like, "Forget about the date." You know, when I called her and told her about the job, she was congratulating me. She was really happy, and she said, "Forget about the date. Just save your money up, and we'll talk in a few weeks or some shit." Right? All right, cool. I'm saving my money, or I'm working, and I'm also applying. But I go to her and I tell her, look, I know you want a date, but I don't know when I can give you a date yet because I have to see like what type of money I'm working with on my first check so that I can move forward knowing a date. She's like, all right, well, just let me know when you start making your money or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So one thing led to another, and I guess she wanted me to pick a date for next month. I I really don't remember like the sequence now because it was so much shit that happened within me being in that household that I forgot the sequence. But to make a long story short, she was pushing me to give her a date when I didn't have enough income to provide her with a date yet. So I'm like, I don't want to tell you a date and some or I don't want to tell you a date and I have the income but then I can't find a place. You know, it's not like they were helping me try to find a place. So everything I was doing by myself, which is fine because I got me. But what I'm saying is, I couldn't get a date right away. So I give her a date, and then the date is changed because I'm like, look, I haven't found a place yet. Like, I'm probably gonna need like another like month or two, right? So now she got attitude and whatever. She like, I thought you know you had a date and I thought you was gonna move out then. And I'm in my head like why are you even tripping this hard over me moving out? And we supposed to be sisters. Like I was just mad, like confused. I was hurt at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was going through all of these different emotions, and at the same time, I was trying to protect myself because I didn't know what type of energy she was bringing, but now I do. So it's like she was just pressuring me the whole time, and it's like, bitch, why did you invite me down here? If you wanted to just pressure me, like the whole point of inviting me down here was to start over again. You know, I lost my mom and my dad to tragedies, and I lost my grandparents. So I just wanted to come here and start over again and be close to other kinfolk. You know, I have a big family here on my mom's side, but my kinfolk drove a wedge between me and my other kinfolk. So now nobody's fucking with Solo, which is cool. I had to accept that, and I've accepted it. But in the meantime, going back to the story, so I'm like, I need another money too, la da da. All right, she acting like she cool with her, whatever. She's cool with it or whatever. And in the midst of me still staying there, my birthday was coming up. I'm like, I haven't done anything in a very long time for myself, and I haven't felt good in a very long time. Prior to me coming here, I just experienced like a 4 to 5 year breakup that I'm still healing from. So that was part of the reason why I came here too, just to start fresh again. So I'm doing all that, and she's doing all this. So I'm working, I'm looking up flights or whatever, and I see a flight for like $60 on my going to Miami. I'm, I'm like, all right, how can I do this and still be back to work? But I still wanted to experience. I don't care if it was 2 or 3 days. I still wanted to experience it and be on a budget because I know and I knew that my money, my income had nothing to do with me finding a place. It was all about my credit. Keep that in mind, my credit. Boom, I booked the flight. All right, now my kinfolk is already away. So she come back and we talking a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, yo, I just booked the trip to Miami for my birthday for like 2 days. I got a flight for like $60. Not thinking in my head that my kinfolk is gonna be like, this fucking bitch is booking trips and she's supposed to get out. Like, why is she so angry at me? Why does she feel so much hatred towards me, the person that you grew up with? I would never in my fucking million years treat anybody like that, bro. And I definitely wouldn't treat somebody like that I held to that standard. But obviously now you're way down here, like you said that I am. But when you come into a situation that's dark and you're the light, you get attacked. So I didn't find that out until later through this experience that I really am the light in most situations. So anyway, so moving forward, one day I'm laying down in her kids' room on the floor because I usually sleep in the living room. I didn't find out that I wasn't able to have a bedroom until I got down here because they were staying in other kinfolk house until their new house got ready, right? So I didn't find out until later that I wasn't gonna have a bed to sleep in or a bedroom. So I slept in the living room on an air mattress and shit, right? All right, cool. But one day I'm sleeping upstairs on the floor because kinfolk soulmate is playing video games and I need to get rest because I wake up at 5 a.m. for work. So kinfolk comes up, she's getting stuff out of Kitty's room or whatever. And then I forget how the conversation started. I think she said excuse no, she didn't even say excuse me. I think she said, can you move or some shit? I don't know, something rude. And then she was like, something. Let me get this straight. You taking a trip? You booking trips? What she said? You booking flights? And you can't even find a place to live?